At first glance, this looks like a harmless village scene, just people going about their day. But look closer. That man is literally banging his head against a wall. That woman over there, she's tying the devil down with a pillowcase. And that guy in the corner is shearing a pig. This is the Netherlandish Proverbs, painted in 1559 by Pieter Bruegel the Elder. And I need you to understand something. This painting is not innocent. It's not even close. Bruegel didn't paint a village. He painted a catalogue of human stupidity, over 100 Dutch proverbs crammed into one chaotic nightmare. And the more you look, the worse it gets. Let's start with that man hitting his head against the wall. In the 16th century, this was not comedy. It meant to waste one's time on an impossible task. And if that's your opening act, you know things are about to get strange. Because once your eyes adjust, you notice everything that's wrong. A man relieving himself upon the world. Another carrying daylight in a basket. A woman draping a cloak over her husband, which, by the way, means she's cheating on him. Every inch of this painting is another failure of judgment, another corruption. It's not a village, it's humanity at its most absurd. But here's what you need to know about Bruegel. He wasn't painting this from sympathy, he was painting it from observation. And that changes everything. Because Bruegel wasn't a peasant. He was educated, well-connected. He moved in circles with wealthy merchants and scholars. And here's the disturbing part. He would disguise himself as a peasant to blend into festivals and weddings. He'd watch people up close, studying them like specimens. He wasn't one of them. He was documenting them. And in Netherlandish Proverbs, he distilled everything he saw, the trickery, the greed, the lust, the stupidity, into one enormous visual anthology. Think of it as a Renaissance Where's Waldo, except Waldo is trying to warn you that society is collapsing. So let's go inside, because every character in this painting is doing something bizarre, and some of them, they're doing something dangerous. The man biting a pillar. He's not hungry. This proverb meant to be a religious hypocrite. In other words, pretending to be so pious that he embraces a church pillar. The man throwing roses to a pig. You've heard pearls before swine. Same idea. Don't offer something precious to someone who can't appreciate it. The man shearing a sheep and the man shearing a pig. One gets wool, profit, the other gets nothing but squealing. One has all the advantages, the other none. But then there's this woman. She's carrying fire in one hand, water in the other. This one's chilling. It means two-faced. She can either extinguish the fire or burn the entire town down. Bruegel places her near the centre for a reason. She represents the terrifying potential of human duplicity. And that's when you start to realise this isn't just a painting about proverbs, it's a painting about moral collapse. And to understand why Bruegel made it so dark, you need to know what was happening outside his studio. Because Bruegel painted this in 1559 during the Little Ice Age, famine, religious violence tearing the Low Countries apart, the Protestant Reformation destabilising society, Spanish rule under Philip II, an iron fist. People believed fate, luck, and sin dictated everything. The devil wasn't symbolic, he was literal. People thought he was watching, tempting, trapping souls. And Bruegel's village? It reflects a society spiralling. In fact, The devil is in this painting. You just have to know where to look. The blue cloak. Not just adultery, spiritual blindness, deceit. The world turned upside down, meaning everything is the opposite of what it should be. The two fools under one hood. Stupidity loves company. And then there's the man putting a bell on a cat. It means to carry out a dangerous or impractical plan. The cat, in some interpretations, represents temptation or the devil himself. Bruegel is quietly reminding you human folly isn't just stupid, it's spiritually dangerous. But here's where Bruegel gets brilliant, because depending on whether you were Catholic or Protestant, you'd see this painting completely differently. To Catholics, these fools represented sinners falling away from the true faith. To Protestants, the Proverbs mocked Catholic superstition and corruption. Bruegel's genius? He walked the line between both. He used secular imagery, ordinary village life, to hide religious commentary. That way, neither church could accuse him of heresy. Both could see what they wanted to see. He stayed alive, and he sold his paintings. This was survival, and Bruegel was the master of it. But when you step back from all these little scenes, something else emerges, something uncomfortable. Because all these micro scenes blend into one message. People don't change. The woman putting all her energy into restraining the devil, the woman committing adultery under a blue cloak, the man futilely banging his head against a wall, the two-faced woman with fire and water. These aren't just characters, they're archetypes. Bruegel isn't showing us a random village, he's showing us humanity. Your neighbours, your co-workers, your family, you, me. Everyone is in here somewhere. And here's the twist that makes this painting feel disturbingly modern. Most of these proverbs still exist. Swimming against the tide, armed to the teeth, the blind leading the blind, banging your head against a brick wall. Bruegel's people may wear 16th century clothes, but their behaviour is painfully familiar. We still deceive, brag, waste, cheat, pretend, fail spectacularly. Netherlandish Proverbs isn't a painting about the past, it's a painting about the present. And Bruegel left one final clue about what he really thought. Look at the very centre of the painting. A man wearing a blue cloak, the symbol of deceit, while his wife drapes it over him, making a fool out of him. In other words, pulling the wool over his eyes. Bruegel could have put any proverb at the centre, but he chose self-deception. Not lust, not greed, not gluttony. Self-deception. Maybe the real message isn't that people are foolish. Maybe it's that people never admit they're foolish. We all think we're the one sane person in a world of idiots. Bruegel's painting suggests the opposite. We're all in this crowd together. We all fall into traps. We all play roles in the theatre of human folly. And maybe the scariest part isn't the cuckold in the cloak. It's recognising yourself somewhere in this village. So here's my question for you. Which proverb in this painting hit closest to home? Which character did you see yourself in? Let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious which fool we all relate to most.